Welcome everyone to today's live, Business Zen live. And today I have a very special guest that I got to know in January this year. So I know that you that are here listening today, you are probably a marketing professional, a photographer, a business owner, an entrepreneur. We have a mix of people in the audience today. So very welcome. And I'm sure you want to know more about how to create a professional brand that sticks out with the right images and which by you can attract the right target audience because that's what it's all about. So I want to tell you a bit about how me and Elisa met. Uh,
Yes.
I had my company for about a year and I had been posting on LinkedIn continuously and I was kind of getting tired of the selfies. Having to take 20 selfies for one to be okay to post,
Yeah.
which took a lot of time. Because, I mean, even if it's a selfie, you have to style yourself a little and like proper clothes. So I thought it was very time consuming. And also, which Elisa knows, I don't like shopping that.
Mm. I love shopping. So yeah.
Yes, which is kind of weird since I used to work with shopping malls, getting people to shop.
Right.
But anywho, didn't like shopping, was not so open to new colors. I was a typical person that had a lot of black,
Mhm.
gray, marine blue. Yeah, so you couldn't find much color in my wardrobe. It was basically only green and some marine blue you could find.
Yeah. Mm.
You remember, Elisa? Yeah. So I was on the lookout for a photographer, but not any photographer, because I wanted the whole experience. I am a typical, and maybe you that are listening, you want it all. You want someone to relieve your headaches because, as a business owner, entrepreneur, consultant, you already have a lot on your mind and you need someone to figure that out for you. So I met Elisa, and that was one of the most special days this year. I bought the whole package with makeup artist, studio, co working space shoot, help with styling, and it was a very remarkable day, which has helped me tremendously when I post and when I market myself in different platforms. So, this introduction, very welcome, Elisa, and very welcome to you that is listening.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And everything you said is just like warming my heart. I'm like smiling.
Yeah, I'm smiling as well.
Yeah.
And you that are listening today, we will take questions during the live. So if you have any questions to Elisa or to me, or if you have some thoughts during the live, put them in the comments, and we will raise them in the live directly. So welcome, and I want to get started with how did you start your company, Elisa? How come you started to photograph? When did this happen?
Yeah. Sometimes you already know what you want in your life, but you don't allow it. You don't allow yourself to listen to it. So I always knew I wanted to be a photographer. And I would tell my mother, like, I just want to earn money with photography. And she's like, yeah, yeah, you can do that on the side.
Mm.
But actually, you need to listen. Like,
Yes.
so I remember in December when I was still in the process of looking for work in marketing, like I had another track record before.
Hmm.
And I just was at home and I was just like, you know what? I really want to go for it. Like I felt it in my body, like it was, and you that is really like in touch with your feelings. I
Mm.
felt it so strongly, and I just said, I felt very overwhelmed, but I told myself I'm going to stop listening to the overwhelm and take action. So I took action, and suddenly it just started to roll. Like I found my niche. I found clients like you who encouraged me in the whole experience I provided. So I started my company like with the current niche in January this year. Uh,
Wow. Wow. That's
yeah.
amazing. And also, you're one of the people I've met that has picked up Swedish the fastest. I mean, when did you start speaking Swedish?
Um, I've been on Erasmus in Sweden in 2020. So that's my connection to Sweden that everyone asks me. So for once and for all, no, just kidding. Uh, no, that was my first connection to Sweden, but I started to speak Swedish for real in August last year. I moved in July and I said, now I need to learn the language. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get into SFE because I didn't have a personal number because I was an entrepreneur. Like, so I couldn't even learn. So I had my book and I just said, okay, 10 minutes a day. And that's how I started to speak Swedish. Yeah.
And that's so remarkable, that in itself, because when you meet with Elisa, you will see that her Swedish is really good.
Yeah, but
She
we're speaking English
understands
now.
a lot. So I'm very impressed just by the fact that you picked it up in 1 year at the same time as you started your business in a new country. I
Mm,
mean, that in itself is applause.
thank you.
So, and you in the audience that is listening today, do you recognize yourself in this ambiguity? If, in case you started your own company, that
Mm.
you have the feeling of it being right and you can feel it in your bones and your cells, but it's a very nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to listen to your gut feeling. And especially as soon as I started to work with women that I looked up to, I could just, I remember feeling like leaving those sessions when I photographed them. And I would just go to my friends and I would just like buzz from excitement and like inspiration and how I felt so purposeful, you know, like being able to help entrepreneurs being more visible and giving them this once in a lifetime experience, like you just described. It's not just we go and shoot, you know, there's so much around it. And that gave me so much purpose. So it makes me, it's a very logical consequence of like being an entrepreneur. It makes me feel very fulfilled. Uh,
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. And I mean, so you started your company, and like I said in the introduction, you are a unique photographer because you work with the whole concept. You don't just shoot, you work with the styling, you pick the right locations. You have a makeup artist and stylist that you collaborate with. You have an assistant, so it's like this production that gives you the whole package. So, in what way are you unique to your clients? Because I know how you are unique, but if
mm,
you can
yeah.
tell me with your own words, what makes you stand out among others?
Yeah, very good question. This was very natural. I think what makes working with me different is that you can come to me and you can relax. Like I will take care of everything. I will ask you a lot of questions. I will really understand your brand from my marketing perspective. But then I will take care of locations, styling, makeup, colors. Uh, like I style people, I style my clients from tip
Yeah.
to toe. Like so people end up wearing other colors. They end up buying half of the items that I pick for them. So yeah, it's a whole experience. It's not just, oh, I just need some headshots. Like I don't do that. Like it's
No.
the whole thing or it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing or nothing.
Yeah.
And we see me like Anna. Love working with you, Elisa. You do amazing work, and my session with you made all the difference for my feed.
I love
Thanks a lot, Anna.
her. She's amazing.
Yeah, so I would also like to ask you because you knew my challenges that I encountered when I reached out to you. But what typical challenges do your clients have when they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they usually these are professional entrepreneurs that are already in business. They
Yeah,
already know what they're doing, but suddenly their business catches up on them. Suddenly they get invited to podcasts. they got requests for press releases. Their LinkedIn, they're kind of tired of the selfies. Like, you already had a big following when you reached out to me, and
Yeah.
but you wanted to up level. Like,
Yeah.
you can build a brand with basic photos, but if you want to take it to the next level, be seen as even more an authority, even more top of mind, and visually different than others, then you got to invest in a photographer or in anything that is visual, because visuals are also really important.
Mm.
That's the kind of people they need to up level. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so true. Can you, that is listening today, can you relate to this urge to up level yourself? Share in the comments. Have you felt that urge this year that you want to climb higher and like
Mhm.
expand? And it
Yes.
doesn't have
Exactly.
to be money wise, it can be all kinds of expansion. But do you get that nudge and urge? And what do you do about it when you get it? It would be really interesting for us to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you said, it's a up leveling, and I felt it, to be honest, in my energy when
Oh.
I mean, this is a combination of writing good copy, having a clear offer, and having the right images. But the right images gave me a strong confidence. So now when I post, I actually do feel like an authority,
Oh my God.
which
Yes,
I
you are.
really I didn't before, honestly. I felt like I hadn't found my niche yet. I didn't know who I wanted to be as a company owner. But
Yes.
after that photo shoot, it just like clicked. Because I remember I told you when we were going to shoot that I want you to shoot me like I will be 2 years in advance.
Yes. Yeah. In 2 years.
Like,
Yeah.
capture that feeling, and it's a very special request.
Yeah, no, it's true. But images can, and I actually recently realized this myself while doing my own branding shoots, that getting images that represent a future version of yourself can make you make business decisions that are so much more aligned. You will take very like confident decisions because you already are that person, because you have to just look at a photo and
Yeah,
that's you. So
yeah,
it's very powerful.
that's true. That's actually true. I haven't thought about that, but even
No?
decision making is
Yes.
affected the way
100%.
you step into your power.
Yeah. For
Mm.
some people, it's with clothing, others, it's images. I mean, for me, it's everything. That's why I do everything together. Even buying clothing when I style my clients that makes them feel like the CEO, consultant, public speaker, or coach that they want to be. They're
Mm.
like, Elisa, I feel like, you know, I'm feeling it. And I'm like, yes, clothing does that to you, you know?
Really, and we have Dilan that says Elisa is fantastiskt duktig. It's
Oh,
swingers here
tack så
today
mycket.
since we're doing the live in English. But thank you, Dilan, and I agree. And I wanted to ask you also, Elisa. I know you started your company with this niche in January,
Yeah.
but you've been going on now for a few months. And
Yeah.
during this time, what is like the biggest 2 or 3 challenges that you have encountered? Maybe something that you didn't see coming, or something you overestimated, underestimated, something like that?
I think I didn't know how important it is to have a team. In the beginning, I realized very quickly that I wanted a makeup artist because I wanted my clients to shine. Then I realized that I was good at styling, and I was like, I will do the styling because I have the vision. But then I was like, oh, I can't do everything. Like, I need an assistant. I need someone to take care of the time. Who like I want to be in my zone when I'm photographing my clients,
Mm.
and I want to be the one who's gonna have the vision with the colors and talk to the client, but there has to be someone who will dress my client, who will manage the time for me, who will help me put the lights. And I think I underestimated how amazing it is to have a team of people and really like have this day where we're all working for one person, we're all working for the client. And so that's one challenge.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And like, did you have any personal struggles? Because I know for sure I have
Oh, yeah.
during these past 2 years, when you were trying to break into a new market and
Mhm.
establish a new niche.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I think it took me a little, it took me around 6 months to actually know. I knew it was mostly women that I photograph, and I knew it was entrepreneurs. But it took me 3 months to know I wanted to photograph women that are already in business, that
Mhm.
already know what they're doing. Because every time I would have a call with someone who was new and who was like, "Yeah, I want to build this business," and I'm like, "Okay, but who do you want to attract?" And they're like, "I don't know yet." So it's hard for me to visualize something that is not there yet. So then I
Mm.
realized, okay, I'm only working for people who already are established in a way. And then also, I realized that a certain type of people has more resources to work with me, and those are the women that have there are CEOs, coaches, consultants, public speakers. So I niched like along the on the way, because in the beginning I wanted to work for everyone, but now
Yes.
I think that was
A
a challenge.
classic. That's a classic. And the audience, do you recognize yourself in this? That from the beginning, when you start a company, you want to help
Mm,
everyone and you're everywhere at the same time until you manage to narrow it down. Do you recognize yourself in this? I sure do, because I also, as Elisa, I changed my niche about 1.5 year into my company.
yeah,
So that was a surprise. But you know, when you feel something is not right and you're not aligned with your offers any longer, you outgrown them,
yeah,
that's when you know you need to twist things up.
yeah, exactly.
So, do you recognize yourself when you're listening in this, whether you are a company owner or a freelancer, consultant, or perhaps new on the job?
Mhm.
Because those feelings are similar. Okay, Elisa. So, I also wanted to ask you, you said you want to work with clients that are already clear with what
Mm,
they want to accomplish or who they want to reach. But imagine you have someone reaching out to you that really wants to work with you, but maybe doesn't have the possibility to do so right now, but
mm-mm.
maybe in a couple of months, for example.
Yeah,
What kind of advice would you give them to get started with this whole visual branding in like a easy way, just to
yeah.
get started?
Mhm. I actually really like this question, even if it would go against, working with me. But it's like
Yeah.
I would advise people once and for all to show their face as most as possible. Like stop posting like graphics or photos of the streets, or like I see so many photos that are not standing out visually because I don't see people. So that's number
Mhm.
one. People connect with faces. Number two would be to use color. Especially when living in Sweden, not everyone dares to wear color, and even on photos. So just yeah, wear colorful clothes so that you will stick out on the feed more. And the third would be to ask your friends and family to just take photos of you in an environment that communicates the right message to your audience.
Mm.
So if you talk, let's say you Business Zen, you can ask your friend. I mean, you're in another stage, obviously, but if you would be at the beginning of your career, you could
Yeah.
ask your friends to take a
I mean,
photo of
that
you.
was not so far ago.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. In nature, for instance, like and try to minimize use of selfies. You will stand out more if you ask your friends to take a photo of you, and you
Mm,
can build a brand with that. You can absolutely start building a community. You can build community,
mm.
uh, but then if you want to up level, that's when people, and so yeah, can work with me. Then I would say,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Definitely, because that was the way I started, and that was the way I think a lot of people start.
yeah,
They start
yeah,
posting. Probably you that is here today. You start posting, then eventually you figure out your niche. You feel more confident in your offer,
yeah,
and then you want to like put more emphasis on the brand, the colors, the look, the
yes,
feel, everything, so it's coherent because it does make a big difference, no matter if you're a CEO, entrepreneur, or a company that sells services or products. Like a coherent brand is,
Mm. Mm. It's
yeah.
very, very important. Like people really underestimate the importance of visual cues to be trusted.
Oh,
Consistency
can you
is,
elaborate on that?
yeah, for sure. I wrote about it before because why is it important to have a unique visual brand? Because you want to stand out, right? Why is it important to have a coherent visual brand? uh, because you want people to recognize you for something. You
Mm,
want, if people think about you when you're not in the room and if they talk about you, you want them to talk about one thing, not about 10 things. So you have to be consistent, not only in what you do and in what you offer, but also visually, because images are recognized or remembered, sorry, way more than words. Like this is science. We remember images. So if people can just think, oh, that's that person with those like with that orange suit, think about you now. Or who always has this like brown background. Yeah, that's the one who's talking about like Business Zen. What's that about? You know, if you would have like 20,000 different images, they'll be confused.
mm.
Confusion never leads to sales. So that's why visual coherence is important.
Definitely, confusion never leads to sales, and having a brand that is a bit of everything and like scattered,
Yeah.
it leads to confusion. Like, who are you really? What are your services? Who are you trying to reach? Are you trying to reach everyone, or are you trying to reach me, your ideal customer?
Mm.
So it's a big difference. I totally agree. And since both me and Elisa, we have marketing backgrounds, so we know this, but this is not something that you know, perhaps, if you
No.
haven't worked within marketing or communication or PR.
Mm.
Oh, no, it's a whole science of itself, the way you build a brand, the way you use pictures to like enforce the words. It's a science.
Yes, it is. And it will also make you feel more confident. Just one more side note, like it's not only about the strategy and about attracting the right people, even though that's extremely key. It's also about how you feel about yourself and the confidence, as we talked about. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. And audience, have any of you taken professional pictures, or would you like to take some professional pictures? Write in the comments and share. Please share. We're here to learn, to share, to have a dialogue, everyone together.
Yeah.
So, since this is business and live, Elisa,
Yeah.
here comes the $1 million question.
Nice.
What do you do to create more business zen or harmony in your life between work and life? Do you have any go tos to get creative, to get like in your zone? What do you do?
Yeah, I think ever since I'm an entrepreneur, I'm able to create the Zen life that I want to. I'm not gonna say that I'm like really good at it because I'm kind of an obsessive entrepreneur. So like my life still revolves too much around my business, but I'm working really hard on it to like see my business as a little circle inside my life, you know. But for instance, one thing, I never really wake up before 9:30. Like I love my slow mornings. I eat my breakfast. I go for a walk. I exercise a lot, like at least 4 times a week. And yeah, those things I couldn't really necessarily do them if I would be working in a company. So I can go and exercise whenever I want to, and those kind of, let's say, what are else, meeting friends and not talking about business.
Yeah, that one is important. You don't realize it maybe in
Mm.
the start, but then you're like longing to meet someone and not talk about strategies and the next step.
It's fun, but we need friends that are not interested as well.
Yes, definitely.
But I think I can learn a lot from you more to how to be more business because I gotta work on that.
But I think you are working and on it. And since I know you privately, personally, I mean, I know you moved out to a really nice area with lots of nature, where you take long walks and you can really like let go of the city tempo and enter a more Zen state to just relax.
You're totally right. And I also, for me, being Belgian, to be able to walk 7 minutes and be at a lake and be able to swim there and then run back is like magic. Like honestly, that makes me like think this is my rich life. Yeah,
Yeah, that is your rich life, and it only has started. So
yeah,
I'm very excited to see what you will be doing the coming months and years. And we have Areso that says so many good advice. Thank you. I really believe in building personal brand by pictures.
mm, yeah,
Definitely, Areso. And you're a great content creator as well, I must say. So, Elisa,
mm,
we're soon running out of time,
yeah,
but I would really like to ask you a last question, which I think a lot of people might be curious about. But
yeah.
what do you wish you knew before you started your company? Because you started it after graduating, you decided
Mm.
on this new industry that was not related to what you had studied prior. What do you wish you knew? What you could say to Elisa like
Mm.
1 year ago?
Oh, Elisa 1 year ago was in a totally different space. Like I was very, very overwhelmed, and I really wanted to work in fashion, and quickly realized maybe that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I think I would just advise her to really like to not listen to anyone else and just listen inwards and be like, if you want to be a photographer, just take the small steps every day. Uh, don't think about all the emotions attached with it, about fear. Like
Mm,
fear was an emotion that was haunting me for years actually, because I already knew I wanted to be a photographer, like an actual full-time photographer, like
mm,
2 years ago. But I always thought, no, no, no. Like I was afraid, like afraid that it's not possible, afraid that being a photographer full-time is hard. It's hard to be a full-time photographer. That's what everyone says, but it
yeah.
doesn't have to be. Like I found a niche that is absolutely working. So I would just say listen to myself and take
Mhm.
aligned actions. Only
Mm.
do things that I think are right for me. That kind of advice. And I think I've done that. So yeah.
Definitely. I think you have done it as well. And I mean, I've been on your journey, so I know you're making great progress. Every month you are going forward and doing things better and better and at a higher like quality. So you have done amazing things in that short while. You should be really proud of yourself,
Anna, thank
Elisa, because I am and your clients are. So, thank you everyone for listening today. And if you have any questions to Elisa, please put them in the comments. And if not, you can find Elisa on LinkedIn and you can find her on Instagram on Elisa O'Clock, where she is active. She shares behind the scenes how she works with her clients, such as myself.
you. Yeah.
So, would you like to say some finishing words, Elisa?
No, I'm just so grateful that I met you, and that you are this person who like uplifts everyone and makes so many free promotion for everyone. And I haven't met many people like that. So I just want everyone in the audience to know that as well. That Anna is really like an authentic person, and I
Thank
can feel
you.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. And yes, it's all about sharing and promoting others. There is no scarcity here, so there is plenty for all. That's our
Yes.
vision or our belief. So
Yeah.
Jenny asks, hur kommer man i kontakt med Lisa? How do you reach out to Lisa? Yeah, you can answer Lisa. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, you can add me on LinkedIn. The first step to work with me is to book a call with me, because then I go through my packages. So that's where we can talk.
Perfect. Thank you. Do we have any more questions before we log off that you would like to see? or have an answer to. Very inspiring, Cecilia says. Thank you for being here, Cecilia. Hope you enjoyed this live.
So many amazing comments. Everyone is so amazing and so supportive.
Yeah, this is an amazing bunch of people that have
Yeah.
found us, I can say. So, very grateful for you that is listening. And the next live will be in 2 weeks. And as usual, we have a very special guest that will provide you lots of value and solve your headaches for this fall. So, join in 2 weeks and you will get the link shortly. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Anna. Okay. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone listening. Bye.
That's great. Bye.